right, Jake Shields, welcome to the podcast, buddy, and welcome to Phuket.
Oh, thank you.
And your first time to AKA Thailand, finally.
Yeah, I wanted to come out for a while. I knew you were opening a gym, I think, 5 years ago or something? I think you were trying to open it longer even, right?
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, a long time. And I've trained out at Tiger before, but I wanted to, I've been trying to come out here for a while and finally made it out and saw it. It's an awesome gym. Looks amazing.
Thanks, man. So for those that don't know, Jake did a seminar today at AKA Thailand. Fantastic, as usual. So it's great to have you out and great to have you doing a seminar. A lot of people don't know this, but we actually train together.
Yeah, on and off for years.
It's weird that no one would know that, but you're not technically AKA, me and Fitch and Koss, so they wouldn't expect that, I guess. But we were training partners, sparring partners for many years, and you were my nemesis.
Yeah,
I hated seeing you at the gym every time I came in.
So was Mike any good?
He is really good. I'm just a terrible matchup with him stylistically, so is
horrible matchup for
So
me.
stand up, he's all right, but on the ground?
But yeah, I would go for the takedowns.
But I had maybe 30, 40 seconds of stand up until he clinched me, and then it was just dragging me to the ground, and it was
and often we'd spar
miserable.
with the headgear, the big gloves, so it's just you taking down with that. It's just awful, just suffocation, not fun.
He's hard to get up from anyway, or just prevent submissions in general. But when you have gloves and stuff too, it doesn't help.
Yeah, it's really hard. So I'm really gonna keep people down.
And it wasn't gloves I wanted to hit him with, to be honest.
It's terrible.
The best I could do was hit him with a cushion.
Why don't you just elbow him?
Oh God, I wanted to sometimes.
Yeah, but lots of good days back at the old AKA.
Yeah, man, so many, and we train hard. A lot of people you guys train too hard, but you came to our gym specifically because of how hard we train.
Yeah, I like
and look at your
hard.
success too.
Yeah, it's look at the results. AK has been criticized a lot for training too hard, but look how many. You got Kane out of there, DC, Fitch, Luke Rockhold. They produced a lot of champs out of there. So you criticize them, but look what they're producing. Khabib fighting for a title. Yeah. So people can criticize them all they want, but look at the results.
Absolutely, and the results speak for themselves. And it's not like tennis or basketball. I mean, it's like fighting. You got to fight,
we signed up for a tough sport. Unfortunately, sometimes we get hurt.
There's going to be a downside. The downside is we're going to lose some brain cells. We're going to get injured.
Yeah, but this is what we signed up for, exactly.
Absolutely. And you signed up for it, but man, what a lucrative career you've had. I mean, you've beat a who's who of fighters, and congrats on that, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a while.
32-9.
Fuck, man, I don't even know. I should pay attention, but I fought like you said. Look to my record, and sometimes I forget the guys I fought. I've had no easy fights. Maybe one or two guys that were just okay, and everyone else is like, Jesus, these guys.
I think you were on a 15-fight win streak when you fought GSP or something like that.
A good streak there,
and a great fight with GSP, obviously.
Were y'all ever set to fight each other? Any talks ever?
Who?
Actually, no, we never were.
People were mad because we all trained together because it was Jake Shields, Koscheck, Fitch, myself. And at the time, GSP, we were all kind of at the top.
7,
and it was GSP was the king, and they all fought him. I never got my shot, but it was like they were mad because they wanted to see all of us kind of mix it up together too. And we were all training together, so we never got to. Yeah,
like I said, it was one of those things. It was always like, hey, I'm not officially an AK member, so I'd fight the guys, but prefer not to since it was great training partners.
Yeah.
How long were you there?
I would just come down occasionally because I lived in San Francisco, which is like an hour away from San Jose, and I trained with Nick, Nate, Gil Melendez most of the time. But I would go down. I'd go down like once a week to get some different sparring partners. I mean, such good guys. Him, Josh Koscheck, John Fitch. It was just so many. Luke Rockhold. Those guys are all amazing guys, close to my weight. So I took advantage of it. Damn. I was one of those guys that always stayed out of politics and tried looking at the best for my career. And I was friends with those guys, so I was figuring no reason not to go cross train with them. In the back of the head, of course, it's like hopefully I don't have to fight these guys at some point. But it's you got to look out what's best for yourself.
Yeah, and Melendez trained there a lot too, and then he ended up fighting Thompson three times.
3 times.
And they were mega fights, and these guys trained together for like hours and hours of sparring and grappling together.
How is that?
Those are different? It's weird fighting someone.
And you fought someone too as well as Fish, so. I mean,
it sucks fighting someone you train with and stuff.
It's weird,
it's
right?
Part of the game sometimes, yeah. But those Josh, those Melendez fights were so good. Those are some of the best fights.
Yeah,
they had some wars, all three of those.
Absolutely.
I gotta ask, do you hold back at all? Like when you fight people or is it like subconsciously? Do you? Or?
Maybe subconsciously a little bit. But you try not to. But yeah, you don't. It's a lot better not to like people you fight. That's why you try not. That
makes it a lot easier.
You don't want too many friends in your weight class. That's when generally I do try to not be close to people my weight because you don't want to like someone and have to fight them. It's not fun.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, because the sport, you do have to try to hurt someone. You can't be like, and it is hard when you like someone. So you do want to legitimately try to make yourself not like people.
Yeah. And your submission game is so good. Again, when you talk about hurting people were like, I'm going to get submitted by Jake. That's kind of a worst case. But in reality, you got good stand-up too. Your kicks, I remember especially, were really hard.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate my stand-up, but I have a really my crowd looks a little awkward.
I'd
but
get
it's
kicked by you. I'd be like, no fucking way. You just kicked me. But you had hard kicks, man. They were really hard.
People always say, you go for the liver shot and all those things people aren't expecting. And it's like I'm a hard range to hit. So I think I throw people off a lot with my stand-up style. Yeah,
absolutely, man. And so now you moved to New York?
Yeah, I've been in New York almost a year now, training out Renzo Gracie's with John Dana here and that whole squad. Ton of good guys out there right now.
Yeah, we just met some of your guys this week.
Yeah,
Saturday.
Yeah, 1 week ago. Yeah, that's what I was out here actually. I came out to help Gary get ready for that fight, Gary Tonin.
Dude, fantastic fight you had.
Yeah, no, I was at the fight. I was there.
You were here?
How do we not see you?
For that already?
Yeah, no, I came out here for that. I was out all week helping Gary train and stuff.
Okay,
so.
We totally missed you then.
Yeah.
Because
I just assumed because you were coming here when you did that you were coming later. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, no, I was in Bangkok as well. So
okay.
It was,
Shit, we missed you, man.
Gary Tonin's debut, he looked for a first fight, looked amazing. Coming from a jiu-jitsu background, crossed to MMA, and he decided to go out there and go for the knockout instead of the submission.
Yeah, we shared lockers with him with our guy who got injured during the fight, Jake Butler, and I met John Danaher for the. Danaher. I don't want to mess up his name, dude. This guy is a freaking genius, man.
Well, he's going to take notes.
Yeah,
he had a notepad and a pen the entire time.
Really, just taking notes, huh?
The whole everything.
Yeah, he pays
in
attention
the locker
to everything.
room.
He's such an intelligent guy. I mean, he's already trained GSP, Chris Weidman. I think he's looking at Gary Tonin could easily be his next champion. He puts the guy's really intelligent. Working with him, he's known as a jiu-jitsu trainer, but he knows pretty much everything about all martial arts.
Yeah.
He knows the boxing, the kickboxing, he's so knowledgeable in every aspect of the game. It's really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, I got to talk to him for like 10 minutes and I was blown away. I was just like, I was kind of giddy because like,
yeah, you were.
He was with GSP when we were all kind of like wanting GSP back in the day, So he was telling me about how he was watching my fight with Dan Hardy and the winner of that fight was going to fight GSP and stuff. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, he knows everything.
He knows a lot.
Everything. Yeah,
he broke down the whole, he even broke down the curriculum of AKA, how good we had, or how good we did on the wall, like our wall work and stuff like that. And he just completely broke down our curriculum.
It's
and I was
insane
like, wow,
how he knows everything.
Yeah,
you can ask him about pretty much any guy, and he'll start breaking down their game, what they do, how they do it. It's including boxers, wrestlers. It's I've never met anyone that knowledgeable on the martial arts.
And does he always take notes like that?
Generally not. I generally don't see him taking notes, but I'm generally with him during training.
I mean, the entire time he was taking notes in the locker room.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I usually see him at the gym when we're there training, and he's not taking notes.
No, he's just doing cool shit.
Yeah, exactly. Just
spreading
showing
knowledge.
Stuff.
And how was it training? Speaking of that, how was it training with GSP for Bisping after having that big fight in the past, and then going back and training with him? And is there anything different about GSP that you never knew or didn't expect when you started training with him?
I mean, GSP is a guy I've always liked, so it wasn't really that weird training with him. We always got along as friends. And then, training since I've been in New York training with John, him obviously training at GSP, so I went up there to train with him for a little bit. And, I mean, he's pretty much what I expected. Obviously trained really hard, really disciplined, really talented. So it's the guy's phenomenal. I'm not sure if he's going to fight again or not, but he definitely still has it.
I don't think he really needs to, probably.
No, financially, I think he's well off. He'll only fight if he feels a need to. I mean, I don't know for sure. My guess is he'd fight for a fight like Conor McGregor if they offer something like that, or like one of these super fights. But he doesn't. For the money, he doesn't need to fight. It's only if he wants.
Would you take a McGregor fight?
Yeah, of course. I mean, who wouldn't? He'd be stupid not
to
fight like that. Yeah, exactly. That's a money fight.
You would take a McGregor.
I think against stylistically, I think I'm a terrible matchup for him. So I would love a fight like that.
Well, that's why Khabib would kill him. I mean,
I think Khabib.
Like Tony, I think too.
Yeah, anything could happen. I think he would stand a better chance against Tony because Tony comes in a little wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably pick Tony, but he would stand a better.
From weird angles and might connect something.
Exactly, because he is a really good stand-up. He's got that great straight left he throws, and I mean, even Khabib, if he catches it perfect, put him down. But I think Khabib would come in and probably take.
He has to catch Khabib. That'd be the only way he could.
If not, he's gonna get mauled.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you see the Khabib Ferguson fight going?
That's actually a really exciting fight. Yeah. It's I'm going to go with Khabib because he's just so much pressure in the ground and pound. But Tony is just so unorthodox. He has a lot of big wins. He usually doesn't get tired. He has good submissions, good stand-up. He's tough. It's a really interesting fight.
He gets it done. I mean, he comes away with the win. He's good on his back, which is what he'll be most. I mean, let's just be honest here.
Yeah.
He's going to be taken down eventually. I mean,
he's good from his back, but
Khabib's not going to try 1 or 2 takedowns. He'll do 50. He doesn't stop until he gets you down. He keeps going. And we saw with Barboza, he closes that distance he'll run if he has to. Like, and Barboza did an excellent job of trying to defend against it, land those kicks. He even landed spinning kicks and shit, but like he couldn't do anything. I mean, it was too much.
He just walked right through his shots.
Yeah, he just ran like at some point. So yeah, I'm interested to see what Tony's game plan is going to be once it goes to the ground. I mean, we saw him with other guys with the elbows and stuff like that.
Is he trying to get to his feet? Is he going to throw elbows?
Yeah.
Is he like?
So what would your prediction be? What round? What? Just you got to throw it out there.
It's so hard to say. I'll say third round stoppage, but it could go anyway.
Yeah,
it's one of those fights.
This is one of it's one of those different ones. It's not like most people can predict most fights.
I think you can kind of predict what both fighters are going to do, but like the impact it's going to have on each other, how fast, and you know, you can't really predict that. You know, like we know what Khabib's going to do, we know what Tony's going to do, who's going to, you know. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to predict, like the time on that fight, I think.
And if Tony can somehow get him tired, you know, blow a lot of energy. But I mean, Khabib usually doesn't gas, but he fights at a really high pace.
AK doesn't gas though, you know.
He's training hard. I will say that. I just got back from AK, and his fight camp's doing amazing. So he's definitely in shape, but
has to make weight still too. I mean, he has to. Hopefully, that doesn't hurt him.
Here goes inside information.
He's a big. Well, he's just a big dude. I mean, when I trained with Khabib, sometimes at Spartan, he'd be like 185, like a week or two out from the fight.
Yeah,
and I would be coming in there weighing like 185. Like we spar on the same weight, and he's a weight below me. I'm like, Jesus, how's this guy? How does he make weight? And he's always. Well, I think one time he missed it, but other than that, he made it. So hopefully, he has no issues again.
I think he's.
No, I just said that in the last podcast, but I was just saying how he grabbed a medium shirt. AKA Thailand shirt when I was there last week or 2 weeks ago, and I remember thinking like that might be too small, and like he wore it fine, and because it fits so well. I mean, I didn't check his weight or anything. I assumed he was doing pretty good on his weight.
I heard last fight
because he looked lean and like he was fast.
I think they've been more on top of his weight after that miss.
Yeah.
So
he don't want to miss weight on a fight like this.
He's a really disciplined guy overall. That's why he was able to make those insane cuts.
Yeah.
So I think they've learned to keep his weight down a little more.
He took it really bad, I think, that one
Exactly.
time.
I think he learned from his. I think he'll make weight. I think he learned from his mistake. I think he will make weight. But again, it can hurt. He is still a big guy, and that can hurt your cardio, dropping insane amounts of weight.
Yeah, and he could fight up a division.
Yeah,
he's talented enough. He could do that if he wins. If he wins the belt, he could challenge again.
Yeah, he just won't be a lot bigger than the guy. Is the only difference.
Yeah, I think so. So, what is your overall thoughts on Conor McGregor just in general? Since he came on the scene, what he's done, and where he's at now.
Yeah, mixed thoughts. I think he's really talented. You know, he's a great shit talker. Really good, really good stand up. I think he is a little overhyped still. He gets he is good, but they act like he's one of the greatest of all time. I don't think that's the case. But he's definitely talented.
And his success. I mean, did you ever think someone was going to have success to that level?
I think it's crazy how popular he's got. I mean, I guess
but just the money wise, not like
it's good for the sport. So making
when we were training together, I never thought anybody would make it to that level.
Yeah, because he made like over 100 million, I think, on that.
I mean, that's a boxing fight, but even in MMA, like he was doing
cash.
Probably 7 to 10 or something. I mean, that's a shit ton of money.
I know Nate made good money fighting him too,
and he had a nice payday.
I don't know exact figures, but he made some good paydays. So
he hasn't been back since, and he ain't in any rush. It doesn't seem. Have you had any talks with Nate about it?
I mean, I haven't talked to him in a few weeks, but I know he wants to fight again, and they've talked to him about some fights. It just hasn't quite came together because he wants to make sure he gets paid. I mean, Nate's a big star at this point and doesn't want to get screwed over. So,
what about Nick? What's up with him? Man, I haven't heard.
I would love to see Nick fight again. I don't know exactly what's up. I think he wants to fight, but I think he got burnt out on the sport and needed a break. But he's been hopefully he's ready to come back. I would love to see him fight again.
Yeah, they're entertaining every time.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Say what you will about their extracurricular
You can't not like a Diaz fight.
But that's the fun part about the sport. They're different.
That's why I like the personalities in there.
They're not the same as everyone else. I think a lot of people would love to see one of them fight again. So I think we'll see them both fight again.
It's crazy with like I said, Nate made a lot of money. Well, like we said, Nate made a lot of money, and then Conor made a lot of money. It's hard to imagine when guys get to that level and make so much money that they're gonna go back down. Like I said that about Conor, and it's been true so far. He hasn't came back.
I think it's 507 days since his last UFC fight.
Damn.
Yeah, Nate made less money, but still so much.
But he
it's
still made a lot. Exactly.
It's hard to justify to pay him the same amount unless he fights Conor McGregor. So it's like,
it's hard.
How do you get him excited about half that amount or a quarter of that amount, even though even a quarter of that amount is gigantic 5 years ago?
But it's hard. Yeah, exactly. When you have a ton of money in the bank and they're offering you a quarter what you just got to fight like Tyron Woodley,
it's tough.
You look at Tyron Woodley for a quarter of the money, and you're like, is it really worth it?
Speaking of which, how does it feel to have beaten Tyron Woodley and then knowing he's a champ now? And you've beaten so many people, like so many guys. How many champs have you beaten? Let me just ask you that.
I think like 5 or 6. Because Woodley,
like 5 or 6 legitimate champions. We're not talking like small shows.
Yeah, legitimate UFC champions. I think so.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Plus a lot of top contenders.
And
Give me some names.
let me see.
Champs you beat.
Tyron,
Woodley,
Condit?
Lawler, Henderson was a Pride champ. Dave Monet, old school champ.
Yeah,
but
he
I
was a
beat him
champ.
not long after he was the champ.
Like a walking video
I feel like
game.
there was one more, but
but I forgot how many
Can't
champs
think
he's
right
beat.
Yeah.
God, what a horrible problem to have. And then you were the champion. So you have Strikeforce, you have Elite XC,
yeah.
you have Rumble on the Rock,
On the
right?
Rock, yeah.
You have
Shudo back in Japan.
Shudo. So you have 4 world championships. Am I?
Yeah, wait, Shudo, Rumble on
Weren't
the
you
Rock.
the only
Elite
champion
XC,
Shudo ever had or
Strikeforce.
something like that?
I think the only, like, maybe the American or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's still
Jeez.
Something like
still
that.
nice. Yeah.
And then of course you've done amazing in BJJ as well, or American.
Yeah,
AJJ.
Jiu-Jitsu, yeah. AJJ
American.
now. Switching
American Jiu-Jitsu. How could I say Brazilian? All right. But so what's next for you as far as fighting? I mean, obviously you
Actually,
won
yeah,
your
I'll be
last
fighting
fight.
it soon, actually, because I was with the World Series of Fighting, and
Yep.
they kind of got bought out by a new show. It's going to be called Pro Fight League.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually launching in June. They're doing these big tournaments. I think they're doing, I don't know if they're doing every weight class or not, but I think they're doing at least 6 or 7 weight classes. It's $1 million to the winner of each tournament. I mean, we get paid, on top of it for our fights. They're doing like
Nice.
a season, and then they're doing an 8-man tournament, and like I said, the winner $1 million each the tournament. So that
So
should be a
So the bonus is just $1 million on top
for
of
winning the
everything.
tournament. And like I said, I got my contract where I get paid for my fights on top of it.
Nice.
So luckily, I'm getting paid.
Do you know
pretty
any of
decent. I can't
some
complain.
names of some of the fighters in there?
I do know some names, but I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to say them because I think they're supposed to do. I think they're gonna do press releases soon.
You can tell me later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be doing press releases.
We'll
mic
put it in
just
the
went off.
comments
Go ahead
below.
and whisper it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So,
So that kicks off June 7th. So it's actually
June
coming
7th.
up pretty soon.
so what about how many fights? How many people's in the division?
It's gonna be
or
kind
sorry,
of
in the
a lot of
bracket.
fights because right now there's 12 people, right? So we have to do. They're doing like a season. So we fight twice to get into the 8-man tournament. So if you don't,
Oh, okay.
So I guess you have to. I don't know exactly how it works. So only 8 people are getting in the tournament, and then they do the 8-man tournament.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a lot of fights. It's gonna be 5 fights in like 6 months. So it's kind of crazy.
Damn.
Right.
But
Shit.
make some money real quick.
God, you have 5 fights in 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I fight like the Olympics, dude.
I fought a lot, but never that much that
Unreal.
fast to my age.
Unreal.
But I think I think my style is good for it. I think I can hang. I'm like, screw it, let's do it.
I did 11 years in the UFC and I got 15 fights. That tells you right there how
Yeah,
much I
it's
fought.
it's
Yeah.
one every 7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 fights in 6 months. A little crazy, but I'll give it a try.
But for $1 million, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd-
exactly.
I do a lot of weird things for $1 million. So,
That's what I hear.
well, I'll show you
In
later on
Thailand,
tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Thailand in general, like coming here?
Man, I love this country. I mean, mixed things. It's a crazy place. You live here, obviously. There's some things you're like, in a
Yeah.
country like this, it gets a little weird. But overall, it's great. Beautiful beaches, nice people. Everything's cheap, great food.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the taxi drivers
The taxi drivers are
or
insane.
the bus drivers?
Yeah, we got in
Yeah, tell us that
ended
story.
up in the worst taxi service yesterday with I think the guy was on methamphetamines or something. He was yelling, screaming, not driving. Then he would just stop for random things, like go and hang out with his friends in the middle of the ride over. He stopped, started eating some tom yum soup in the middle. We were in a taxi service with 10 people. I should have just grabbed a direct taxi, but I was being cheap. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll jump in with I figure it's same amount of time. But the dude our driver was just insane.
He just pulled over out of nowhere, didn't tell y'all, and started
No,
eating.
he just pulled over, jumped out,
Lunchtime.
started yelling at some Thai people. They made him some tom yum soup, and he just started eating around the corner. And he was so crazy. Who are we to tell him not to? And then he would stop a minute later, pull over, just piss on the side of the road, just pull out, dick right there.
You got to be careful, man. You got to get the right people.
That's why I moved here.
It was by far the worst service I've ever seen in my life. It was just, even for Thailand, third world country, it was bafflingly bad. It was
That sounds
amazing.
bad. And we live
Yeah,
here, and that
no.
sounds pretty
Yeah.
bad.
'Cause Thailand's actually the service is generally not.
Generally good.
You run some things, you're like, yeah, it's a little bad, but this was just bad.
So what about good experiences?
Oh man, a lot of great things.
How many times have you came to Thailand?
I've been here 5 times. So
Yeah. 'Cause
Originally,
back when
I think originally 12, 13 years ago.
Oh, shit.
Trained out here, vacation out here. It's a great place. It's beautiful. People who haven't been here should definitely come.
And what's the longest you've spent here training specifically, just Muay Thai
I
or
was
whatever?
out here for never that long. I think I've been here for 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I've never been here long periods like some people, but
And your favorite spot? I mean, as far as areas like Phuket, Bangkok. Have you been
yeah,
done
I like the areas
Pattaya
off.
or no?
I like the areas off Phuket, PP Island, Riley Beach, where it's just beautiful.
There's not too many gyms in
Wonderful.
PPI, so we follow you.
Oh, for training, AKA, obviously.
Yeah, where'd you get that shirt, man? That's a great shirt.
I don't mean
just
training.
to hang out, to get away. I love going to Riley Beach or PPI.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's nice.
Not for long periods of time, but going out there for a couple of days.
It's in Krabi, yeah.
Yeah.
Light Beach. I went there. I think it was in Krabi.
Yeah, it's in Krabi, Riley.
What is that, about 2 hours from here?
You have to drive. I drove there, and then you got to take a boat.
It was a 2-hour ferry, but then I took the cab back, and it ended up being like 5 hours because I had a meth. You think it'd be fast? A methed out guy.
It's not meth here. What do they do?
Yaba.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know what he was on, but like I grew up near a lot of meth, and it was very similar to whatever this dude was on.
Wait. You grew up around a lot of meth?
Yeah, I grew up in a small town. Like it's not as big there anymore, but like back when I was in high school, everyone was doing like the methamphetamines. It's not a good, not a drug I'd recommend.
I honestly, I hope I don't sound stupid here. I have no idea how to even. Do you smoke meth? Do you inject? I mean, I do, but how do you make it?
You can snort it. You can smoke it. You can inject it.
Oh, wow.
Can you give me some?
I think my cab driver would have some.
I just know from Breaking Bad.
I'll call him. Yeah, it's definitely a drug.
It comes in like.
I've never seen that.
It's like a big.
You haven't seen Breaking Bad?
They crack it up into pieces.
You ever seen with the Shield or
no?
You don't watch TV. You just beat people up and
I watched
submit
Breaking
them.
Bad. That show was great.
How about Saved by the Bell? Did you watch that as a youngster?
That, no.
Damn,
why do you like that show so much?
I love that show. I don't know.
Jesus, get over high school already. Dude. We've grown up now.
I was 9. I wasn't in high school at 9.
But you still talk about it.
Yeah.
That was his glory days.
You're almost 40 years old.
You peaked young.
Jesus. So where were we? Okay, so Yaba.
So wait, where can we get this?
So yeah, that's the drug of choice for some of the not so good.
It seems like
locals.
the cab drivers, because most people
Some
seem
of
normal,
them,
but
yeah.
a few of the cab drivers I ran into have seen a little bit out of it. We had a tuk-tuk driver in Bangkok. Thought he was going to kill us.
Those are the best, dude.
The night before Gary's fight, him, Tom DeBlas, and another guy, 4 of us piled in a tuk-tuk. They meant for like 2 people, and then the guy was just speeding, going between traffic. We thought Gary wasn't going to make his fight. It was not good.
They're fucking crazy. And you're in this like little, for those that don't know what a tuk-tuk is or whatever, it's like a, how do you describe it? It's like a motorcycle.
It's like
with a cart.
It's like a beer
made
can.
together.
You basically just, a beer can.
It's like a motorcycle crib.
Well, hey, why
car.
don't we let's show a picture right here. You want to? We can do that? Is that possible?
That might be the logo. Well,
Yeah.
wait, here it is.
Here it is.
You got some
This
good
is where we put it.
here, huh?
Yeah,
You'll
see.
Yeah, so
you
it's a
stare at
tuk-tuk,
them.
and like it looks fun and cool and adventurous until it's going
Until
like
you're in one and you think you're gonna
70
die.
miles an hour in between traffic and
Yeah.
And we were like scared, and the cab driver thought it was funny, so he started going faster.
he was on something
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he was
Maybe just high on
He started
life.
laughing, like weaving between cars because we were all
Maybe not.
terrified. We were like, oh god, we're gonna die.
I may have one night needed a taxi, and a tuk-tuk came, and I was like, man, can I drive, please? Because you're not
my
supposed to,
God.
because it's a long story why you can't drive them. But
And he let you drive?
They're controlled. Yeah.
for about 7 seconds, because it's like, it's literally.
Oh my god.
I couldn't get in, but I just wanted to say that I've driven one, and I went maybe I don't know.
Yeah, pay him some baht and they'll let you drive it,
yeah.
right?
I'm
sure
you
you
can
were
buy anything.
I'm sure you were
Buy whatever
sober.
you want in Thailand.
I was dead sober. I drove him home.
You drove the tuk-tuk driver home.
Yeah, I went and washed his car, brought it back to
Nice.
him. Yeah.
Good job, buddy. We'll take care of you tonight. So we're gonna take Jake out and
Maybe we should do a 20-minute segment when we get back.
the after
The after
the
effects,
post
that might not be
night
good.
the post night wrap up show.
It'll be
Shit,
good.
I lost my train of thought. We got into
tuk-tuk
Yaba
and
and meth
Yeah,
and
we
stuff.
got sidetracked.
So you grew up around meth and then
Where'd you
came
go?
up and then did good for
From
yourself.
Calaveras County, it's like 3 hours outside of San Francisco, small town.
Oh.
It's not as bad anymore, but that time period was like everyone was doing the meth. It was not a good drug. They have like no teeth. They're crazy. They don't sleep.
Damn.
Yeah, something you want to
My
avoid.
kind of people.
And then
Party.
so when you first got into, you started out with wrestling, yeah,
Yeah,
and then you moved into BJJ.
yeah. I kind of got into BJJ and fighting kind of at the same time because
Mhm.
I met Chuck Liddell.
You started at San Luis
Yeah, I
Obispo with
started
Chuck.
there because I was wrestling in college, and I met Chuck.
Yeah.
Started training at that gym, so I was trying to do BJJ, kickboxing, trying to do it all.
And-
Started fighting pretty early on.
And then so from the transition, so when you did BJJ first?
No, I was kind of.
Or you kinda got into-
it all at once.
Okay.
BJJ, kickboxing, trying to learn it all at the same time.
And then what made you decide to be a cage fighter and actually go in there and fight in the cage?
I think after just training at slow kickboxing, it was kind of addictive.
But there's gotta be a motivate. Like at that point, I assume it wasn't very lucrative. Like when I came up too. So
yeah,
what was a motivating factor for you to like fight at that stage where
there's
not anybody making Conor McGregor
no
money?
one was making money at that time. Like I said, it was like
you just wanted to
fight for a couple $100s, and the top dudes were making like $30,000.
Exactly.
Like Ortiz was like,
he
was the pinnacle of
time,
it.
yeah.
Oh, he made $30,000 a fight or something. Yeah, and it was if that maybe 20,000.
So you were looking just to make a mark, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I was young. It seemed like something crazy to do. It wasn't something I really planned on doing. It was all of a sudden I trained for a little bit and like, hey, you want to do a fight? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
Jumped in and did a few fights.
Well, you at the right gym.
Got addicted,
That should be a slogan. Hey, you want
Chuck Liddell,
to fight? He just literally posted on Instagram not even, 4 days ago.
Chuck?
He was wearing AKA Thailand, by the way, and he was at Unbreakable Gym, and he was trying to get a fight with Tito. He said something like, sign the contract or let's do this or something.
I've heard some talks of that. That'd be cool.
He wants to fight Tito.
I think obviously they're both older, but I think that's a fight that why not let him fight again? People would watch it again, and
if he wants to, why not? I mean, people are free to do
Chuck's
what
one
they
of
want.
the biggest stars the sport's ever
Who wouldn't
had.
watch
If
that?
not, he was the first guy to really cross over mainstream. So.
Yep. And he's very recognizable, man.
Exactly.
I was just with him in LA, and like, dude, everybody knows Chuck Liddell.
Crazy, yeah. Because like I said, knew him pretty well when he first got famous, and his fame was just insane. I think part of it because he is so famous and he's so recognizable. People see him, they know it's him for sure. It's just people just coming up to him nonstop. You're like, wow, that's a mega fame.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's probably the biggest face of MMA.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Conor McGregor's the new kind of guy, but
Chuck's the original.
Chuck's got the mustache.
Yeah.
Remember when I made fun of his mohawk the first 12 seconds I met him?
Yeah.
That was good thinking.
Yeah.
I think I asked you, oh my God, what'd you say? I said something about, someone said why you didn't have a mohawk or why you never did. And you said because you're not 12.
Yeah, no, there was...
He didn't like that.
He came to the gym and I've got a hat on and all that stuff. And like, of course we cleaned the place up. It's always clean. You saw it. But, and his wife, God bless Heidi, wonderful woman. She's like, and his kids are there.
Yeah.
And he's like... She goes, man, this place is beautiful. I was like, it's normally not. I mean, she bathed today. We cut those hedges. I got a haircut. She goes, oh, because I'm wearing a hat. She goes, oh, did you get a mohawk? I'm like, no, I'm not 12. And, I forgot he was sitting next to me.
And he looked over like, oh, man.
And so he kind of gave me a look. I'm like, fuck. And you can only backpedal so much.
Yeah.
And I'm 97% sure Chuck could kick the shit out of me,
Yeah, probably.
I'm probably a little bit more than that.
Dude, you've never seen me throw these hands before, buddy.
You haven't seen you throw those hands before.
Don't need to.
Yeah, but I remember when I first saw Chuck, I thought I was a badass. I was a wrestler. Seen this dude with a mohawk. He had like a Kempo tattoo. I'm like, I'm going to kick this guy's ass.
Old school days.
Yeah,
in the old school days, you saw guys with the cut off, jeans and like they're trying to be tough. Like,
you think
they were easy targets if you were good.
That's what I thought.
If you were good.
Yeah, I'm like,
but he's a tough dude.
That's
man.
why I looked at him like, I'm going to kick this guy's ass.
Yeah.
Until I got into Spartan, you're just like, oh my God, this is not
He's
liver
got power.
shots.
Yeah.
He's not. He was nice. He wasn't trying to knock me out with headshots, but he definitely gave me some good body shots.
Yeah.
Which I deserved because I thought I was like badass. Like, oh, I'm going to get this guy. And he's just like, dink, dink.
He's got power, man.
How old is he now? He's got to be, 44? 45?
Maybe a little older. Probably
maybe,
46, 47.
Is he?
Well, shit, you're 39. Still
Exactly.
at a high
And
level, man. You're
You're
still
6 months
crazy. I don't
older than
feel
I am.
It's not like you're
Yeah,
fighting
so Chuck's got
Rick
it.
Jones that's 0-1. You're still fighting some...
Still fighting the top guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, there's going to be some good guys in that tournament I'm doing. So,
Damn, man. I can't wait to watch that.
yeah, it should be...
It's American-based, though, you said, right?
Yeah,
So-
I mean, it's going to have people from all over the world, but I think it's a
Well, I
good
mean,
format
the
they're
promotion.
doing. Make it a little excitement. No one's really doing tournaments. They're trying the season to see who gets in the tournament, and then have the 8-man tournament. So,
Fucking $1 million.
yeah.
Are you going to come back and visit us if you win that?
Of course, $1 million in Thailand's going to go far. That's a lot
I'll
of
come
baht.
visit you if you win $1 million.
What's that? Like 30 million baht?
That-
30 something million
35.
baht?
35 million baht. Yeah,
Oh,
you do all right.
I'm doing well.
You can hang out with us.
Because you can do okay for 9,000 baht a month. You
Yeah,
got
so I'm
30, you got 35 million.
Yeah, I'm coming to Thailand.
Yeah, $1 million. Not too shabby in Thailand. You
That's
could live like a
decent.
king for sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So looking past the tournament, well, I guess we can't look past it. I mean, why look past the tournament? That's the main focus right now. Get through that.
Well, like
Yeah.
you said, that tournament can
I
take
have to ask-
a year or something. You said?
Yeah, we're supposed to be in by January 31st. New Year's Eve is the final fight.
But since we're talking about age, though, I have to ask, what's your end game? Like I always ask people this.
Yeah.
Like, what is your ideal end game when fighting's over? What do you want to be doing after
Man,
that?
good question. I guess that's why I'm still fighting because I still enjoy it. But I'm a little older, so probably can't push it much longer.
Yeah.
Probably help train some guys. I want to stay around the sport, but obviously it'd be nice to have to have not enough money, not have to worry about needing the money, just train guys because I want to. Because it's not a ton of money in training people.
Well, $1 million
There can be actually,
help that.
but yeah. And
On top of his salary,
I've been
too.
Especially in
smart-
Thailand.
And I've been smart with money throughout my career, luckily, so I'm not not broke now. But of course, I could use another $1 million. So
Yeah, it's good to be smart, man. You got to set something up. A lot of people now, as they're coming up, I see them, they blow money.
yeah,
Or
it's
they
easy,
don't.
It's easy to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with Koscheck, and I was investing more in business, and like I bought a print shop.
He was getting Ferraris.
He got a Ferrari, got an airplane,
Yeah.
like he got like a Cessna.
Yeah,
I'm
luckily I
like,
was always
fuck.
as I started making money, I was always investing in things, so own pieces of business and that
That's
type
good,
of stuff.
man.
So I have money coming in, but you always want more money.
Yeah,
When you
of
start
course.
making money, you're always like, I want a little more.
And that's the thing, like, man, when you think about fighting, you think about that chunk of money that you get from that fight. It's hard to pass that up, man. Like, I'm retired, but I still think about like that amount of money. I got a 6-figure contract with the UFC still, so it's like
could jump in there.
I could jump back in there. I could wake up tomorrow and decide to fight.
God, I
and
wish you
and in
would.
2 months, I could go back in there and collect a nice chunk of change, right? It is tempting, you know what I mean, to get that money for
I
a
still
fight.
feel, honestly,
especially when you
you're
fought
going
your
to.
whole life, you're not doing something like
Yeah.
jumping out of a plane for the first time.
Yeah, we're so
you're
used
just
to it,
going out
you
there to fight again.
It's what we do anyways. We're
Yeah.
training, so it's like, well, I'm always training anyways. It's got to make it a
Yeah,
little.
it's
just
tempting,
spar a
man.
little harder for a few weeks. Do
Yeah.
a little more running. Just I'm already training regardless. Just up it a little bit.
Yeah. It's just it's tempting, man. It's tempting, but it's good to know that you have something set up. I wish it was somebody that like had some formula for fighters and athletes, something where they can kind of guide. Because a lot of other athletes too, football players and basketball players.
Well, they have, like, for the NFL, they have, look, you're going to come into a lot of money. They try to help them out in the
But I
beginning.
mean, like a business. I wish there was
Yeah.
some kind of business for MMA fighters, for
But
instance,
it's
that you
tough
can kind of be a
because-
part of, and then once you're done fighting, you can carry on with that. And
help people transition.
yeah, something like I don't know what
I
it
think
is.
it's harder.
If someone
Football, a lot of
figures it
those-
out, they're
yeah.
going to be rich. I don't know what it is yet, but
I just think it's harder because, like, the NBA and NFL, well, not so much the NFL, but Major League Baseball, it's like if you get a 7-year contract, you get paid for 7 years. So
Yeah.
you know how to budget. I mean, you guys, I mean, like
Yeah,
I said,
you can be dropped anytime.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Luckily, I have fought for a lot of
Yeah.
years. I've had a chance to
Yeah.
make money, but some of these guys, have a couple years fighting, and then all of a sudden you're not fighting. If you don't have any job skills, it can be tough.
yeah. And while I was kind of at the height of making money and sponsorships and stuff, I had that 910 days off.
Yeah.
So I got injured, blew my knee.
Oh, you had sicknesses for a while too, right?
I was sick, my welterweight career. So I was always fighting through that, but
Sick
Koscheck blew
stand-up.
my knee out. And it was my ACL, MCL, meniscus. And it was like 2 weeks before I fought, I didn't fight, but I was supposed to fight Eric Silva. And I want to say it was, I almost know the UFC, I don't want to say the wrong number, but it was UFC Brazil. And so I was literally a week away from flying down to Brazil to fight Eric Silva. And I blew my knee out, and it was 910 days before I came back.
Damn.
And let me tell you something. I was at the height. I was making money. I was doing appearances. I had sponsors. I mean, money was like coming in.
sponsors
I wouldn't
really
even
good
go to
at
the
that
bank
time.
until I had like 4 or 5 checks to cash. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, 'cause
or
money-
deposit.
money wasn't something you
it
thought
wasn't a big
about.
deal, right? Yeah.
Sometimes you're making so much money, you're like, you just have these checks sitting there.
But when I quit fighting, dude, it was like done. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
so like,
Can be a reality check, right?
yeah, it did.
From like so much money to like none.
Yeah, and that's what fighters have to realize, because when you're coming up, and especially when you're winning fights, you think, of course, because your ego, you're going to just keep winning fights, and you're going to be a champ, and you're going to be Conor McGregor, you're going to do this. But it's like, man, it can end super fast, dude, and it did for me. And so I had a harsh lesson, and like, it almost did me in. So
Yeah. No, you see a lot of guys, exactly. They're just like spinning. They're not fighting, and then they're just broke. So it's
Well, even,
it's a tough
some
sport.
of your friends, obviously we're not going to name names, but some of just the way that they've not handled their money correctly.
Oh, of course. Yeah, we know a lot of people.
Sucks
I mean, you
seeing
could go on.
that.
The list goes on. I mean,
Yeah, for
almost
sure.
every fighter.
Yeah.
Just about.
Pretty
Not
much, yeah,
every
actually.
fighter. I'm saying a lot
Yeah.
of
No,
a lot of big fighters from
I
the
knew
past,
some, I knew some
from
that
the
are
old
doing
school.
well, but there's definitely some I know
Yeah.
that aren't.
A lot of
bunch
them
that
haven't.
aren't, and it's kind of sad. Especially some of these guys are like legends of the sport. Even
That's
You're
the
like,
thing
man,
that's
it's,
heartbreaking. Yeah, and it's
yeah.
not just. I mean, we can't just say fighters, because all athletes in general.
I think it's exactly.
When you're-
Football, I think
It's
is one of
every-
the huge
you're kind of like a
problems, so-
subcontractor, sort of, right? So it's like you don't really have that cushion of knowing that you have some kind of 401k or something, or any kind of guaranteed term per se, like what you just said about.
Yeah.
I don't even know much about the NBA.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
But
yeah,
that's a good
sports-
deal.
Yeah, I hear it's a major problem in like football and basketball, and
Yeah.
maybe not as much in baseball because
Well, it's 'cause you take 'em-
they get paid the best. I think in baseball too.
Yeah. Well, the NFL is not guaranteed, so you can sign a $100 million contract
And
and
then
it's
get dropped.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get
That sucks.
$14 million, and then you're,
Only 14
second.
million.
Somebody's
But you
had
gotta
to have signed
understand, though.
Yeah.
These kids come from the inner city.
So they're just
and
blowing the money.
They're just on rims.
Cause somebody's had to have signed a big contract and something happened, and then
Yeah.
they're just heartbroken. Like they feel so happy to get this money.
Yeah.
They see it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh,
Drop right. Yeah, right
Done.
after that.
Well, like I said, I got a buddy who was in the NBA. He was very late first round, early second round pick.
Yeah.
I don't want to say exactly because people will know who I'm talking about. But, he this was 2001, so he started buying, the Escalades and all the, the jewelry and shit. And then, later on in his life, he had to, his NBA career only lasted a couple years.
Yeah.
Tried to go play overseas, didn't happen. And he, I'm not going to say again what he was doing for a living, but it's tough to see that, man. Because, I mean, even though he wasn't a millionaire, like, some of these other guys. Well. Yeah, I mean, your signing bonus right there. I mean, just.
But like Jake said too, like, I mean, unlike some of the other sports where you might be good enough, you make the team, you sit on the bench, then you get cut, or you play a couple games, you get cut. We're talking about Hall of Famers and like legends of the sport, guys that's been fighting their heart out and gave their brain cells, their body.
And that's all they know.
They can barely walk now. And then they don't have anything, or they have like they're working regular jobs. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, look at the guys fighting in their 50s.
Fighting is different than like football. Fighting is different than NBA.
Some of these guys that were in there before there was any money in it. These guys that
carved this whole sport kind of for us.
And now they're just like broke.
That's sad.
Luckily, guys like Chuck, I think, is doing okay still. He made enough, I assume. I don't know his financials, but I'm pretty sure he's doing really well still. And guys like that, luckily, made enough money. But there's some of the guys before him were just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's getting better.
Oh,
unfortunately, we're missing it. Like we're old now, and all the young guys are getting all the money. But
what do you think, like with that Reebok kind of deal with the UFC? Because I know it ends in 2020, 2021.
Does it?
It definitely doesn't seem very good. Guys aren't making very much money.
That's what I'm wondering, if they're going to try to renew something like that, or just say, hey, fuck it, it's just a bad idea.
The sponsorship scene overall, though, is definitely not what it was. I mean, we were in a time where there was a lot of sponsorship money.
He had 14 things on his shorts. I'm sure you had your fair share.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
First sponsored banner over here. What
are you
talking about? Don't
you gonna bring that up every podcast?
I won't this one. I won't talk about how I had the first sponsored banner in this
UFC history.
Just kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
for fighting?
Not long. It's just because they pause it.
Because you didn't fight for years.
Yeah, they pause
You've never
Me and
been
Diego
cut.
Sanchez.
You've never been cut.
Longest.
Hey.
Say still something.
Yeah,
still
the longest.
But either way, so
first one to ever have a sponsored banner. Holds the record for fastest first 3 fights in the UFC.
Keep going.
Damn, you got all kinds of records.
The only
UFC sitting next to you. Come
the
on.
only UFC fighter.
That's all I have, dude. This is all I have, dude. This is it.
The only UFC fighter whose both names are one syllable.
That's the one I hold dear. That one. That's my favorite.
Nice.
That's not true, Jake Shields, but I just made that up.
Sounds good.
The guy sitting next to me.
It made me feel good, though. Still made me feel good. Yeah. So, but that's for sure. But I got to ask you about a certain someone, Dillon Danis.
Oh, yeah, Dillon. He's we had a little feud, but overall, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he means well. I think he's just trying too hard to be Conor. He trains with Conor, so he's trying to copy him. But
how was it going with him?
He's really talented. I beat him in a submission match, but the guy's good. It wasn't easy. He's legit. He just runs his mouth a little too much. So,
he seemed like, from what I remember reading, he had a lot of demands for Bellator, and then now he's fighting a guy. I think he's 2-3.
Awesome.
So what do you think about that? As far as like having all that hype and talking like that, and then your first fight being a guy 2-3.
I think with your first fight, you should fight someone that's not that good. I mean, it's his first fight. There's a lot of nerves and stuff. You don't want to throw him someone who's super experienced. I think that's fair.
But he was saying he wouldn't even fight on Bellator unless it was like the main card and like all this crazy demands.
You start making shit like that.
I mean, when you start saying that, then you got to fight somebody big, I think. But I do agree with you in your first fight. You should fight somebody that is reasonable.
When James Toney tried to do it, they gave him Randy Couture.
Yeah,
enjoy. How fun was that?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to build him up, see if he can take it or not. Because who knows? Can he take a punch? Is he going to panic out there?
Yeah.
You can give him a couple fights and then see how it goes. It's funny, people keep telling me, fight Dillon. I'm like, the guy's never fought. You can't.
You can't. No.
I can't go in there and fight Dillon.
No.
If he went through, he'd have to win some fights. You can't just go in there and fight a guy with 0 fights. I mean, sure, I would love that. That's easy. The guy's gonna.
That's a big.
Put him in the tournament.
Well, it was funny. Like after a grappling match, he was trying to I'll fight you. I'm like, dude, I just beat you in a grappling match. That's like my side sport.
Where you're the strongest,
and you're trying to fight me. Relax, kid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who was your first fight?
My first fight.
What year? Like 98, 99?
I think my first fight was the end of 99. Can't remember the guy's name. Like I said, I had 1 or 2 fights that were easier. I think
that was my 5th year of high school.
My 1 or 2 fights in the beginning were like guys that weren't that great. Actually, even early on, I fought some tough dudes.
That's crazy. My first fight was 98 pro, and then I had 20-something amateur, and he's still triple my fights.
Yeah, you fought 98 too.
I've only had 20-something.
Sport was so different back then, right?
You fought so many more times.
Did you ever fight somewhere and not get paid?
Luckily,
that was my first fight.
I've been paid very little, but I've always been paid. I fought in some crazy Indian reservations where you're like, oh man, this is like out of a movie. But luckily, got paid.
My first fight was for $200, and I didn't get paid. It's funny. Ironically enough,
$200.
Yeah, ironically enough, it was me and Eve Edwards, and Travis Luter on that card.
Oh, nice.
And it was a
Good guys
rodeo
on there.
arena in Humble, Texas.
A rodeo arena,
Or
yeah.
Humble, Texas.
Humble.
I remember I
Humble.
cornered Gil Melendez. I don't know if it was his first fights. I think it might have been his first fights because I think they're 2 amateur ones. Maybe it was like in it was in like a horse. Not a
already
rodeo,
funny.
but yeah, it was like basically that reminded me of the rodeo because we were like it was like one of those like horse stalls or something.
Yeah.
Like this in our Indian land, like this is ridiculous.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, we used to fight at the Indian reservations for WEC when I fought in WEC down at I can't think of the name of the place in between Fresno and San Jose. It was
Lemoore, right?
Lemoore.
Yeah, I never fought there. I've been in some of those.
I remember. Okay, so I remember Nick fighting there, and I remember Nate was there, and Nate was his little brother, who was nothing but BJJ. This kid, right? It's amazing to remember that time. I think we fought on the same card, or at least the same time we were there at each other's fights. And Nick was a fighter, and Nate was just the BJJ kid.
Yeah, hadn't
and to
fought yet,
see
probably.
where they've came now, and to see Nate being the guy that's made the most money next to Conor, basically,
Yeah,
in that
it's
huge
crazy,
fight.
right?
Holy shit, man! Who would have ever thought that?
Yeah, you saw him there. You never would have been like, oh yeah, this kid's gonna make the second most money in the sport.
Crazy. That's when Tap Out was like selling shirts out of their car,
Yeah, they'd show up at all the things.
fans or
sell
whatever they
them.
had. It was crazy, man.
Yeah,
Has Nate
Tap
ever
Out
fought
was
for a
huge
belt?
back then. Who's that, Nick?
Nate.
Oh, Nate. I think he's
So way
fought
to
for
make the
belt.
second most money, and I don't think he's ever fought for a belt. I could be wrong.
I think he might have fought for it, but not won it. Because when he fought Ben Henderson, I think was out for a belt. I know he fought Ben Henderson. I think it might have been for a belt.
I don't
Unless
know.
Henderson wasn't the champ at the time.
Henderson's fighting what next week?
Yeah, he's fighting Roger
Huerta.
Huerta.
Roger Huerta,
from
yeah.
who's out here. Is he still in Phuket, Huerta?
No,
No, I think he's in
think
LA right now.
Someone
I
just
think.
told me he's at Unbreakable, where I just was with Jake Glazer at that gym,
Interesting.
doing some like work.
Huerta hasn't fought in a while, right? It's gonna be interesting. I mean,
Wow,
he was
Huerta fought,
talented, but Henderson's a
few months back.
tough guy to come
Oh no,
fight
he did fight. He
Oh,
fought
did he?
in
Yeah.
the Desert
He won with a
Desert Force.
Yeah. No. Phoenix.
Oh, Phoenix. I'm sorry, Phoenix.
Yeah.
It was Phoenix, and then he got the guy got disqualified
Yeah.
for elbowing him in the back of the head or something.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So he
Was it
didn't really
Bellator
fight
or
for
somewhere
long.
else?
No, Phoenix. It was a new show. Good show. We just met the owner. Just
based
came
in
to-
Lebanon,
The
yeah.
guy just came to the gym.
Yeah.
What, 2 days ago? The
It's
owner
getting
of
big. He's
Phoenix.
gonna put one show on a month. Nice
Oh,
guy.
nice.
It's a good show, but he didn't really fight because he got
Yeah,
elbowed
he
in the
got
back of the head
disqualified.
relatively early. I want to say it was
Yeah.
the first round or something.
Yeah.
Win's a win.
But I'm just saying he didn't fight, like he's fighting
Didn't get
Vincent
a real
Henderson
fight
though.
in, yeah. Henderson's
Like
a tough
I mean,
fight
this is
to
a guy
come
that
Yeah,
fights and
Henderson's-
trains like a savage.
Where is he fighting out of? I don't even know.
He has
Same,
the same
right?
place.
Met the
I think
guy.
it's his own gym. I think in Arizona. I think he owns the gym.
The
right?
lab or something.
Yeah, I
lab?
think it's a lab. I think that's right.
Yeah,
He's been there for a while. I don't know if he owns
he's a
it.
good dude, man. He's a
or
really
not.
good dude.
Yeah, I like Ben. He's cool.
He when I hung out with him one time, and he doesn't. He said he'd never. Well, many times, but we did a military thing together with Brendan Schaub and a couple people, and we spent a few days like trekking up and down mountains with like dummies, and it was crazy. But anyway, we talked a lot, and he doesn't even take supplements.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
he
drink or
said
anything.
he only just eats food, like no alcohol, no supplements, no protein, like nothing, like just pure food only.
Yeah.
Is he
And
a
just
vegan?
trains like a savage. He's super strong too.
Probably not.
Fun fact, I didn't know.
I rolled with him, and he was like, dude, super strong for his.
Yeah, I've
'cause
actually
he's
never
a-
trained with him, but he's definitely a talented guy.
Yeah. What were we saying?
No, I'm saying I honest to God never heard of a UFC or MMA fighter being a vegan, vegetarian, or however you roll.
Yeah, actually a few. Nick and Nate Diaz are almost vegan. They ate a little
Almost.
bit of fish.
Well,
Because
they
So
smoked
this is a
them,
transition,
I
right?
know
Like you
that.
get
Yeah,
you go from the
'cause-
dark meat, and then you get.
every
to,
now and again they'll eat fish. I think they eat eggs occasionally, but they eat so strict.
Yeah.
No one would think Nick and Nate Diaz is vegans, but
Well, he's like a triathlete, isn't he? Like or
Yeah, they're super into
decathlon.
him,
Or
yeah.
He does all that stuff.
they
Nick?
do all these triathlons. I remember Nick did an Ironman like right when he had a fight like a month or two later. I'm like,
He's just a hell of an athlete then.
Yeah, the endurance of doing an Ironman.
He doesn't get
I would-
tired.
No, he just keeps going.
Yeah.
He'll come in, spar like 10 rounds, then do jiu-jitsu for like an hour, and then still be like, then go hit the bag for like an hour. Like, this guy just keeps going.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like done, exhausted, and Nick's is over there punching the bag.
See, that's what's so crazy. I would assume without meat, how can you, like I said, well, you're different from any vegan I've ever come in contact with because you were born that way, basically.
Yeah,
You
so
were
I
raised
grew up that way. I think there's a lot of misconceptions. Too,
Meth
not
and no
eating
meat.
Yeah. Shit ton of meth, but no meat.
Yeah.
Meth everywhere.
Just surviving on
no
meth.
meat though.
Yeah, that meth will keep me. But no, I will thank you for being a cool vegan because most ones I know are like, oh
Some
my
are
God,
pretty
you're wearing
obnoxious,
leather
yeah.
shoes.
Yeah,
You know,
trying to be
fuck
obnoxious
off.
vegan.
Yeah, I mean, I ate chicken next to you.
I mean,
and
are we on a leather couch? I can't sit
this
here.
is a pleather. This is
Okay.
very expensive.
I thought I'd have to cancel this interview.
Yes. This
This is pleather. We're good.
yeah, this was raised on a farm. But no, kudos to you for not being a douchebag.
No, thank you.
And you couldn't say it if he was, because he'd kill you.
Again, y'all don't understand. We're gonna have to find out.
I just
tonight,
can't
aren't we,
wait to
gentlemen?
watch you guys fight later.
Well, we
Or is it
might.
us fighting?
Well, maybe all of us against him. I'm not fighting you. I didn't like fighting you.
I'll fight
when
you
I was
on the
training.
ground.
I'm
I'll
definitely
fight
not
you
fighting
stand
you
up. I think those are my best two options.
Yeah.
Which I'm still.
Sounds like have a good night.
Yes, yeah.
It'll be a good night.
Not
We'll
gonna
have
go
a
too
good
well.
night. I assure you that.
I fought
How it's going to
Swick
end, I
and
don't know. But
Shields.
if anyone gets
That's-
beat up, it's going to be him.
Yeah,
Just for
chances
wearing
are.
that
As long
shirt.
as he doesn't bring any lady boys back to the place.
That's the rule.
Well, what the fuck
I have
am
one
going
rule.
out
gonna
for
follow
then?
I have one rule. I do not bring ladyboys back to the house.
You have more than that.
And you've only broken it
3 or 4 times.
maybe 3 times.
I love it when
4
you go out of
times.
town, man. It looks just like a
Like,
fucking
yes,
big gay
have a
bar in
party.
here. Yeah,
Ladyboys everywhere.
yeah. It's
I love when I come
BYOB.
home and there's like
Because I'm in
boxers,
Thailand,
bras.
there's a lot of them in Thailand.
Yeah.
Bring your own balls.
He knows them all.
Yeah, I mean they're cool guys, man. Really handsome women. They're fun to talk to. For the record, guys, I've never been with a fucking ladyboy.
Allegedly.
Well, yeah. I was fixing to say allegedly.
Well, I never
Yeah.
paid for one. Is that
He's
better?
never been caught. like fully like.
I never been cocked.
It's just
Is that what you
suspect.
said?
He's
I've
been cocked.
Dick
You
down
think.
plenty of times. No, it's a different culture. Not it's not
You know
my
what's
cup
weird
of
though is
tea.
like it's different than America. Especially I grew up in the southern part of America and Texas and everything. So there wasn't many ladyboys
there
where we
wasn't
grew up.
any, dude. What do you mean many? It was just men.
I'm trying to be
vegans
nice.
and
There
lady
wasn't
boys.
any. So coming here at first, it was a shock to see the culture and how it is. But it's like now we've lived here for so
You get
long.
used to it, yeah.
It's no big deal.
Well,
like
yeah, when we were here, when what's his name, the Caitlyn Jenner kid or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean that guy that
Yeah.
became a woman.
everyone's freaking
You're just
out.
like, oh, yeah, it's no big deal.
We had no clue because it's just like it's a Thursday here. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Thailand.
It's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've lived here for so long. It's just like it's not even a big deal. It's just no big deal at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
until I find him in the house, it's a little annoying. I'll be honest.
but other than that, you're used
It's
to
annoying
it,
because I don't bring
It
you
scares me because I'm in bed, right? And I recognize his voice. But when it's another man's voice in my house, I'm
Throws
like,
you off.
I'm thinking I'm getting burglarized or something, right?
one. He
It's
might
just some
come eat
guy
Sarah.
and him
He's new here.
watching TV or something.
Yeah, it's people are really gonna think I'm fucking dudes now.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so.
Probably.
I hope so.
I'd rather be a vegan.
You get a lot of fan mail. Going
Fan
back.
mail, MALE.
There you go. God, I wish we could show that text. On
What
your phone.
text? Oh, the one I showed you guys.
Oh, that was pretty great.
He gets some interesting
His fan
texts.
mail from,
He does all
from
the,
the boys.
Yeah, he does all the messages for AKA and because of podcast, AKA, and all our stories on Instagram, he gets quite the messages.
I never thought I'd ever receive a dick pic in my life.
Buddy, you got more than that. He's got some interesting messages.
There, I've got one with
At least you got a few fans.
Shoot, I almost want to put
It's
it right
your
here.
fans.
I'll show this.
No,
This dude sent
embarrass
me
this
a
guy.
a
That's-
picture of him in a G-string, which I didn't know they made for men.
We give him a thumbs up, so hopefully he replies.
You did, Dick.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Today, finally,
sure
after
you got
seeing
some more
after
messages
seeing
right
that
now.
text for like
Oh, I didn't even check. I wonder if
after
he's
seeing that
texted me.
text for months, we finally I got my chance to give a thumbs up to him. So
And I thought I was
now
skinny.
he thinks you like him.
He makes me look fat. That dude,
He's super skinny. Yeah.
he has to run around the shower to get wet. That's how thin he is, Mike.
I get it. I guess it's a thin joke. So
His
anyway,
jokes are running
let me
thin.
get back to real fast to Nate. When Nate beat Conor and then the whole like the Conor Nate thing happened, did you talk to Nate? Like, what are his thoughts then and now on Conor? Because like obviously he wants that fight, and
I mean, I don't know.
He was very
Nate's
happy he
exact
won.
Thoughts, but I think overall he kind of feels like Connor's obviously talented, made him some money, so he respects him as a fighter, but doesn't
Yeah.
really care for him. I mean,
So they
all
really
the
don't
shit
like
they
each
talk,
other,
I don't think they really
yeah.
like each other.
yeah.
And they probably don't like hate each other.
He's got to
because
like
they've
him
had
a
some
little
good
bit for
fights.
making him all that money
yeah,
though.
in some sense, but I think he really legitimately doesn't like him either.
Nah, yeah.
Plus, there's a good chance for it to be a third fight. I mean, I think that's a fight a lot of people want to see still.
That's
So
going to be
odds
next.
are that's going to happen at some point.
Because McGregor can't
They
beat
have to.
Ferguson or
Yeah,
Khabib. So
and,
he's
and
might
that's
as well
the money
for
fight
the money.
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, and we're not saying he can beat Nate, but he has.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I think
I mean, they're-
Nate dominated the first one. The second
Yeah.
one was close, so it
Yeah.
makes sense to do a third one.
yeah,
I think a lot of people want to see the fight too. I think those are the 2 top pay-per-views.
yeah.
I think they're 1 and 2, or it's either 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. It's the biggest pay-per-views of all time. So it's like, why not do
It's
it
crazy.
again?
I mean, Connor's years behind him on the ground though.
Oh yeah,
I mean, so it's like if he gets him down, man,
he's on another level.
and he gets
I mean,
tired.
I would like to see.
Nate's not going to get tired.
Hopefully, Nate will work takedowns a little more this next time.
I think now Nate knows exactly the game.
He's shown
plan,
once he gets him down, he can
the
destroy him.
blueprint on how to beat him for sure. So, I mean, he had it, but
It just sucks that fight won't be for like 8 months, probably.
yeah, he's got so much money. He's not.
It's like,
Neither
yeah,
one
like,
of
he
them are
gives a shit.
motivated.
I don't blame
And even
him.
Conor, man. I mean, he's made so much money. I doubt. Like I said this before, I doubt he's ever going to fight again.
Yeah, it's hard to say if he's going to fight again, and if so,
Why
how
would
many
he?
times?
Why risk anything, you
Yeah.
know?
Still pretty young though, guys.
but
Guys
ego.
show their
Ego and
drive.
legacy.
He wants, but he doesn't have enough of a legacy yet. He's had a good little career, but he's not going to be. I don't think he's done enough to be
He's the
considered
most
one of the greatest
polarized
of all time.
guy. Yeah, I mean, maybe he doesn't.
But
give
if
a shit
now
about
if he
that,
goes and wins some more fight, then he'll have a legit legacy. I don't think he's done quite enough yet. He needs to go win a couple more
fight
fights.
heavyweight.
He has a legacy, but not like it could be a lot more. He's not considered one of the greatest of all time, and not by like real people that follow the sport. People that, the fanboys might call him one of the greatest of all time, but I don't think real
newer generation.
real analysts, the
22-year-old
want to look back and be like, "Oh, Conor was the greatest of all time," unless he goes and does a lot more. And he might, I'm sure he knows that and would want to go prove it.
I think
if he believes in himself, which I think he does, want to go out there and win some more fights.
I think when you have that much like fan base behind you, hyping you up, they're kind of bagging on him a little bit now. Not maybe his fan base, but a lot of the fans are turning on him for holding that belt and then for not
like I said,
fighting.
it's been 507 days.
I think it affects you as a fighter, especially when you're that young and you feel that you're the best. Like you kind of want to prove those fans wrong. So I think there's got to be a little fire inside still. That's like
I think he believes he is great, so he's got to be thinking like, oh, I can do more. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he likes the money, but it's hard to walk away if you really think you're one of the greatest of all time and you haven't done enough to prove that yet. You think you'd want to go out and do it.
Yeah.
It could also make him look bad too if he goes out there and loses a couple times bad, and then he really ruins his legacy.
Yeah, that's why I think he's not going to fight. Why?
Yeah.
And you look at division now. I mean, I don't think he's going to beat Nate. I don't think he's going to beat Tony. I don't think he's going to beat Khabib.
Who's
he going to beat?
That's my point, though. So it's hard to say he's one of the greatest of all time when he's not even out fighting the best out there.
I mean, he's definitely not going to fight.
And I personally don't think he is one of the greats. That's probably why he won't.
Yeah.
Well, when you're that inactive for that long, like I know he's sponsored by like Beats by Dre, and I'm sure some special Reebok shit or whatever he's got going on. I mean, will they just drop you after? I mean, y'all.
No, not him.
He's still a huge name, I think. But at some point, a few more years, his name is going to start dropping, though.
That's when I think it might hit him. Like that pride, that ego might get damaged a bit, and he might want to.
Because he's probably never been dropped from a sponsor before. So for like Burger King to be like,
he's going to get dropped. I think he's just going to. They're not going to re-up and
re-sign him. Or, yeah.
Well, this may be a dumb question. I've never been sponsored. I know, it's hard to believe. Do they pay you monthly? Do they pay you just one lump sum?
There's so many different ways. That's a tough question. Sometimes it's lump sum, sometimes monthly. So there's just a ton of different ways to work it out.
What do you prefer?
Yeah, I think monthly is always better.
That's what I was.
If you have monthly checks coming in, that's nice.
I mean, that lump sum's neat. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, lump sum's
but
good
that's
too.
easier to blow. And
for some reason, it just feels good having those monthly checks, and it makes it like you're more likely to be more loyal to the sponsor. It's a long-term thing, so I think it works better for both people, really.
Yeah.
They pay you a big lump sum. It's like, then it's paid out, so it's not like.
Were you ever sponsored by Condom Depot?
I was not, but that was.
Do you get free condoms?
I like how they put it right on the ass.
But they put it on the ass.
I like how they
my
positioned
dad was
it.
managing me at the time. He's just like, we're gonna need a lot of money for this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
Put Condom Depot on your ass.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
what a place.
Luckily, my dad bidded me out of that one. He's like,
well,
we're asking for more money.
You got free tires from Toyo Tires, right?
Yeah,
free condoms.
Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering. Free condoms.
Yeah, no, they paid
those
something.
Anyways?
Oh, here we go.
What's a condom?
Yeah.
So, all right, that's a weird transition, but I want to get into one more question before we go. I know we're about to go out, take you off for the night, but what is your take on Daniel Cormier and Stipe? I want you to break that down. You obviously know Daniel, and
man,
that's a hell of a fight too, man.
Fight.
He's stepping
obviously
up.
I know Dan personally. He's amazing, great wrestler, great stand-up. But Stipe is just really impressive too. What's the weight of Stipe? How big is he?
I don't know what his walking weight is.
248, 247.
He's a big dude, though.
That's a tough fight to call.
And DC started as heavyweight, then he moved down. So, I mean, he has fought at heavyweight, but he was really small.
Yeah, he was a small heavyweight. I think Stipe.
He was just so talented,
He's like, how old is Stipe? He's younger too, right? I mean, definitely younger.
I think he's younger. I don't know how much, but
I know he's younger than DC.
Obviously, I want DC to win, know him a lot better, but that's a tough fight, man. I think he can pull it out, but it is a good matchup, though. He's got slightly better wrestling, or definitely better wrestling, but he's given up the weight. Stand-up wise, it's hard to say. Stipe really can throw him, though.
Yeah, DC's been working a lot more on the stand-up.
Yeah, his stand-up looks really good, too.
He loves using it. He loves using it.
Yeah.
And you don't expect it, so that's how he catches you.
Exactly. So I don't want to say Stipe's got better stand-up, because sometimes Cormier throws shots like, oh, man, that was impressive.
He's
like
not
that
afraid
last
to throw.
Fight, he was fighting that stand-up guy, and he started lighting him up.
Yeah,
like,
he's not afraid. And I think if he sticks to a good game plan, he wins for sure. I mean, not for sure, but has a great chance. But Daniel Cormier does like to fight.
He might start trading with
He likes to trade.
Yeah.
He likes to mix it up and fight, and that's when the risk comes in. Mm-hmm. If he wants to just out-wrestle him and win the fight, I think he could do that, no problem. I mean, his wrestling is obviously really good. But
Cormier's only been beat by one guy, and it was bullshit both times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is it?
Cormier wasn't bullshit.
Jones,
I mean, he got beat.
Well, but still.
Legitimately.
For different reasons.
But I mean,
when you're fighting superheroes.
Who knows what effect the steroids had? I do think John Jones is one of the best fighters.
I know the steroids didn't
I mean, John Jones,
you
obviously
can't deny
a great
that.
fighter.
But still, even that being said, if you beat him legitimately,
just like Barry Bonds.
It's only one guy that's beat him, you know, and so, yeah.
Well, Stipe lost
Yeah,
to
no, that's an exciting fight. That's
Stefan Struve, right? Didn't Struve beat Stipe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine that was a
I
while
think so.
ago, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
Stipe's been looking
He's-
really
yeah, that was a
good
while.
lately.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It was early, but
Yeah.
still, just, you know,
Yeah. No, that's fights. When is that? Is that July?
It's coming up.
July, July 29th.
It's a little ways off, I think, right?
I
They
believe.
put it off.
And then one more fight I want to ask you about is Rose and Joanna too.
It's another tough one. I don't know. You know,
I like Rose, man. I like Joanna too. I love her style. Obviously,
Yeah, I think Joanna's gonna win
She's
that.
just like a freaking
I was
powerhouse.
impressed with Rose last
Aggressive
time,
style,
you know?
but I just really like Rose.
Yeah, no,
man.
I trained with her a little bit. Gil Melendez was coaching Ultimate Fighter when she was on there. I helped out a little bit with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rose is. She was super raw back then, but she was really talented. So it was great to see her go win that title. And
She's a good person. She seems.
Yeah,
like
no, I
too.
like Rose. I definitely hope she wins that. But it's
Yeah.
it's like a 50-50 fight because she was on such a tear until Rose
Yeah.
came and knocked her out.
And we'll see how that affects her. I mean, you never know sometimes until you lose. She was
Sometimes you get
undefeated.
knocked out
Is that
like
her first
Some
loss?
Some guys aren't the same after they lose, or girls in this case, I guess. Some people just aren't
Yeah.
the same after.
We'll see.
After they lose.
Yeah. Like you. Like if you lost, you probably wouldn't be the same.
I've never won either.
I'm just saying.
I'm actually 0-1. I might be 1-1 tonight. You
Let's go
keep running your
undefeated.
mouth.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of tonight, we'll let you go and thank you for being on the podcast.
Cool, man. Thanks a lot.
We'll
Best
have
of
a good
luck in
night
the
tonight.
tournament,
Thanks
man.
for coming to AKA Thailand.
Yeah.
Thanks for sporting the shirt and
Yeah,
coming in
rocking
there and
that.
giving
Hey,
a
he's
hell of a
wearing this
seminar.
out tonight.
He's
so-
wearing this out tonight. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Represent AKA.
And a great seminar today, man.
You want
Great
me to sign
turnout.
it?
Taught us some really cool shit, man. That your positioning from your figure four to the choke was sick. Man, I've never even seen that before. So
Yeah, working all kinds of
really good
cool
stuff,
new
man.
stuff.
Every time I see you in your training, I learn something new. It's just like, and I've trained with you 150 times, 200 times.
Cool, man.
So thanks, buddy. And anything you want to say? Shout outs to sponsors?
Nah,
or
just thanks everyone for all the support.
Cool. All right, but we do like a little fist bump at the end.
Yeah, you got to.
I got
I'll
that
get you
down.
later. I'll
Bring
get
it
you.
over, bring it
All
over.
right.
We'll do
All
the
right, guys.
triple.
Thanks for watching and tuning in. Please leave a constructive comment below in the YouTube channel,
If you want to know where to get this shirt, message me.
and we will give you a free training package to AK Time. We'll pick one person, maybe two. So thanks for the support, guys.
We'll let
And
Jake pick 'em.
Yeah, there we go.
Sweet.
You can pick the winner.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.